Hey everybody, I'm super excited you're stamping with me today and I have an awesome project to share with you. I know I say that at the beginning of every video, but I really kind of think it. I love when you make something and when you're done, it just makes you want to squeal with delight, and you'll have to excuse my camera jiggling because I'm excited. Anyway, I think this is such a beautiful project. It's like a home decor piece as well as a couple of cards, and I'll explain how they all came about, but I think you're gonna love them. And thank you so much for coming and checking this out. If you love this video, please spread the word and share it with others. Thanks! All right, guys, thank you for putting up with my excited beginning, but let's get started with these cool projects. So these are the cards, but let me tell you how these came about. So I was working on this project, and I think you've seen maybe before that I've done another video showing how I make these spiral flowers into some cool things. And I came up with this and I just was over the moon excited. I just love it. So I hope you think it's cool. Otherwise I'm a little bit crazy, but that's probably true anyway. This is just a gorgeous frame that I made, or framed piece that I made. It didn't take very long. There's not much for supplies, but I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the colors. I love the blessed. I love the gold. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let me explain to you how these cards came from this project. So I was looking for something to put on top of the spirals, and I had thought maybe it would be cool to put some leaves back there, or right here. So I watercolored some leaves and I put them on there and they look terrible. But what came from that was these really cool cards. At least I think they're pretty cool. And they're really simple. There's not much to them. There is some leaves that I stamped and embossed, and then I watercolored over the top and then die cut them out. Not much trouble at all. So I used the new Lighthearted leaf stamp set from Stampin' Up. It's in the holiday catalog, which I had sitting here to be ready, and then I lost it. Oh well. So then what I did is I took and stamped some of these leaves. So let me show you how that came about. Here, I'll leave one of these cards out so you remember or know what I'm working on. So I stamped and embossed these. I did this ahead of time. And what I love about this is I had these extra pieces of watercolor paper that were kind of left over from cutting pieces down for other cards that I've been doing. And if you're on my YouTube channel, you've seen I've been doing a bunch of that, or on my blog. I've been into this watercolor thing. So anyway, I took those leftover pieces, which of course, you want to find a great use for. So I stamped and embossed these with white embossing powder and just used my Versamark ink pad. You can see it's well loved. In fact, it's pretty ugly, but it still works fabulously. Then what I'm going to do is take my aqua painter, which of course I can't see at the moment. Oh my gosh, what did I do with it? Here it is. I had all this stuff all ready to go, and of course now it's everywhere. If you could see the shot in the beginning, my office is a disaster, but that usually means I'm up to something pretty good. Okay, so I am taking my ink, and when you squeeze the pad to the lid, the ink gets in there, and all I'm going to do is pick that ink up, and I'm just going to go over the top of my embossing. And of course the embossing resists what I'm coloring. Now you can do this with sponging. You can do this with, taking your ink and putting it directly on the pad on the embossing, or you can watercolor like I'm doing today. Then I'm going to change colors and try a different one. So this is Hello Honey. The first one was Soft Sky. This is also, I think, a really pretty combination of colors. And what's interesting about this is this color, as I'm painting it on, I look at it and it almost looks like lime greeny, neon greeny to me. But when it dries, it takes on that honey color again. Not sure why that is, but it's interesting. Now, when I let this sit, if I want just a solid color of watercolor on there, I can just leave it be. But I think it's kind of fun to make it a little darker in places and lighter in places. So what I am going to do is just pick up some more color and go right in that center section and just make it a little darker. Now when it dries, what you can do is actually wipe the surface off a little bit, and then that that white embossing in the very center there will show through great. Okay, so I think you get the idea. I also did a large one here, and I used Bermuda Bay for this, and you can see where I made it darker here in the center. Now this one is nice and dry, but you get the idea. I die cut these with the Leaflet framelits, and they are in the main catalog, and they cut out all of the leaves in the stamp set, so you can see there's one of the framelits. Now I did that ahead of time. And what I'm going to show you now is how I put my card together. So I'm going to start with 2 card bases, and I have enough for 2 cards out of this. So I'm just using very vanilla. Now I'm also going to add a smaller layer on top, which of course I have off camera here. Okay, so this is just trimmed. So this would be 4 by 5 1/4 trimmed. And what I'm going to do is take and attach my leaves. And when I did this originally, I just thought, you know, it'll be cool to just set these leaves on here. I was trying to think of like cool ways to bunch them up or whatnot. But I found what I liked the best was just setting them on the card. So that's what I went ahead and did. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals on the back of this big leaf. And you know, the other thing I'm going to do is just kind of wiggle it, wrinkle it. Isn't that like a nursery rhyme or something? Wiggle it a little bit just so that it's not totally flat, because I think that adds interest to my card. Then I'll take this other leaf, and you know what, I'm not going to pop that one up. I'm going to stick that one down with some Fast Fuse, which, oh my gosh, I had everything set up, and then I must have moved something because it's all gone. Here we go. These are the joys of making videos, guys. And again, I'm going to wiggle my leaf just a little to give it some interest so it's not totally flat, and I think I'll tuck it in under there slightly. And then I adhered that with the Fast Fuse. That worked great. And then I need one more leaf, this time a yellow one, and again, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I suppose if you did that hard enough, the embossing might come off, but that's okay. Now I'm going to put the dimensional on the side here. The reason is because this is already going to kind of hold it up a little bit, so I don't want my card getting too thick, you know, because then when you go to mail it, the post office gets crabby with you. Now, what I have at the bottom here of this one is Sending Joy, and the other one is Blessed by You. And let me show you where that came from, because that's actually pretty cool. So we have the alphabet rotary stamp, and you can dial in different things. So I have Blessed space by space you exclamation point. So what you do is you just turn the things, the little rotary things, until you get what you like. Then I think it's great to practice this a couple times before you do it on your card. But what you're going to want to do is stamp it down and then roll it slightly in either direction, and then Blessed by You. Now, I think this is a really cool saying, and I'm kind of on this kick of spreading joy and happiness right now. And the reason is because every time you turn the news on, there's something crappy on TV, terrible stories, people being mean to each other, the internet is awful, blah, blah, blah. Why not send a card to somebody and make their day? I think that is so amazing, and to be honest, I don't do it enough. I make cards for a living, and yet I'm guilty of not sending out a whole ton of cards. So I think it's a good idea. Now, if you ever have kids, and if you ever go anywhere with olives, you know they stick an olive on each finger. I have a dimensional on each finger, because I think this looks really nice to just set this layer up one little notch up from my card instead of gluing it flat on there. It just, I think, looks classy, and let's be classy by making a nice looking card like that. Oh my gosh, could I ramble anymore? I'm sorry, guys. But I hope you like this. I hope you think this is just a neat way to spread a little joy to the world, and I urge you to send a card to somebody just because. Not because it's their birthday, not because they're not feeling well, just, hey, I was thinking of you today and I thought you'd like a card. Anyway, I hope you like this project. If you do, please do me a huge favor and share it with everybody. Spread the word. I would be so thankful if you did. As always, if you go to my blog, thecreativitycave.com, and check out the projects for September 10th, you will see all the information I will put on there for all the projects, the supplies I used, and a bunch of still pictures, so you can get a great look at everything in case my video didn't capture the essence of awesomeness. Anyway, have an awesome day, and thanks so much. Bye-bye.